Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of One World Under Doom, Issue 1, 2025. Oh, that is a really nice cover there. Now, this is their kind of event thing, setting off their whole we've had the build-up and everything since the end of Blood Hunt. This first issue is $5.99. This is done by North and Silva, as well as Curiel. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. I think that this was definitely worth it. I liked how North was able to handle most of the characters. I mean, he's been handling the Fantastic Four, so his Doom works very well here. But it was going to be interesting to see how he handles the other heroes, any other kind of characters that are introduced into here. Now, this is supposed to be 9 issues as of when I'm making this, so we'll kind of have to see what's kind of going on here. I don't know if I will continue on with this. I've been liking X-Men and everything. I've got a certain kind of stable amount that I kind of do. But I really liked this and the kind of setup that we've got here. So we'll see what the kind of objectives are for this as we continue going on forward. But I liked what we got here. Now, if you're turned off by the price, I completely understand it. That is kind of what's going on and happening with certain kind of things. I think for the art and the story and how the characters are handled, that this worked out pretty well enough, in my opinion. If you don't give a shit about Doom, quite alright, move along. If you don't want to see characters being like, I'm gonna go fuck around with Doom, that's okay, move along. The thing is, since we're getting a lot of other things, this is kind of Marvel's kind of big thing that's going to be like having repercussions around different kind of titles. So it's mainly just stick to your certain kind of titles or the ones that you kind of don't want to be dealing with. But if you're in the Fantastic Four, this of course will have big repercussions on that. So let us crack into this. And it's kind of interesting. We get like a Latverian press kind of setup with like a phone and everything kind of going on, talking about Doctor Doom 6 months ago becoming Sorcerer Supreme, that being the calm before the storm, and then kind of setting up like what we had seen in like Blood Hunt, which I actually kind of like this kind of style, showing us the big kind of players with Doom and Baron Zemo, and of course the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and then other various kind of characters involved as well. So let's crack into this. You rush to platitudes like drowning men swarming a lifeboat. 2 peaceful nations will not choose to go to war with one another, you tell yourselves, as if repetition makes it true. Yet even a superficial glance at history proves it. Government will not save you. But no 2 countries colonized by the same fast food franchises have ever attacked each other. You plead. This is equally untrue. Capitalism cannot save you. Nothing can save you save for the enlightened rule of a single person who can make the hard choices. One who is above being bribed, being corrupted, who does not care about the petty comforts that confound other men. Doom is above money, Doom is above desire, Doom is above all. And in his magnanimity, in his pity, in his greatness, that's of course fucking Doom like that. Doom will save you. And it's like, oh god, The Exercise of Power, Chapter 1. That is a really great one to show Doom off like that. Earlier this morning, the leaders of every nation on Earth, kings and queens, and warlords and presidents, each willingly swore fealty to Doom. As of this moment, every nation on Earth has become a province of a unified Earth, a new united Latveria. And of course, he's making the kind of enlightened king that philosophers sometimes kind of, like Plato, is Plato, right? Yes, Plato's philosopher king. Like the hypothetical ruler whom political skill is combined with philosophical knowledge, kind of being above all that kind of shit, but good luck trying to actually get that shit out. To those watching this broadcast, I know it must be shocking for you. Changes to power hierarchies often are, and I know what you now expect. Perhaps slave labor, building eternal monuments to the glory of Doom, or perhaps death squads, yes? Hunt down the enemies of Doom, finally ending the threat of the dangerous and hated Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four? No, it's like, you say no, but Yeah. No. For in the face of his unprecedented power, Doom is not petty, Doom is humble, Doom is magnanimous. You saying that you are humble and magnanimous, it's the exact opposite of being humble and magnanimous. And Doom begins his rule with but two small decrees. And I like how that's kind of like tradition, like we have pretty much traditional paneling with what's kind of going on here. War between nations is, of course, outlawed. There shall be no conflict between Latveria's provinces. This is the new peace under Doom, the Pax Victoris. It is the first of Doom's gifts to the world. Okie dokie. So we see someone pretty much loading up a gun and pretty much getting ready to do their own kind of thing. The second gift is this. You are all citizens of Earth, yet you all have not, until now, been treated with the same baseline respect that demands. You have struggled under inequality. You have been made to go without medicine, without knowledge. You have been made to pay for basic care, or you have been made to die. But there are certain privileges to being Latverian. Translated from Kamiskani, Admiral Akemtov, for General Bureau. You hearing this shit? And there's a certain minimum standard of living that Latveria bestows and insists upon for all her citizens. Every nation will not only care for the bodies of her citizens through free and truly universal health care, but it will also care for their minds through local elite tier education all the way to postgraduate levels for everyone who chooses to avail themselves of it. No longer shall the highest levels of attainment be reserved only for those who can afford immigration, much less schooling. It's like, okay, let's see how this kind of goes on for you. These ideas, these easy and arguable wins for civilization are not new. They are expensive, yes, and complex, yes, but they were never impossible. They have simply been left on the table through greed, through moral cowardice, and Doom suffers from neither affliction. It's like, okie dokie. Agreed. If the bureaucrats accept this, then we don't accept them. Air Force is with us too. We move now or we don't move at all. This is incidentally the moment when my address would have ended were it not for an uprising already being planned against me in Kamiskan. It's like, as the dude's looking, it's like, shit. And then we see how Doom's shit really does handle. It's like, oh, you just send some kind of Doombot. And I really like how we get, like, the sound like that. That's just really fucking cool. And I see there are also rogue elements in the militaries of Russia, Burundi, and India who move against Doom. And now, yes, Samovar, Canada, and even the United States, as the dude's shooting at it, but it's not doing anything disappointing but not unexpected. Change is always hard. But worry not, these minor uprisings have already been dealt with. The Pax Victoris stands. These provinces will not be punished, for Doom is mercy. But know that even Doom's mercy has its limits, as of course we see the bot do some kind of glowing hand thing and pretty much kill the dude as we see blood on the monitor, as it's like, yeah, Doom's mercy, yeah. My cabinet and I will be watching events closely from here in Latveria, working for our greater glory. There will be further broadcasts as events warrant. A final note has been left. Final note. Doom has left your old leaders in place, free to govern just as they have before, save for the responsibility of implementing my orders. Your day-to-day will not change except for, as you have already seen, certain significant improvements. Know, too, that this transition is being implemented with the full support of your leaders. Doom is wisdom, Doom is power, Doom is prosperity, and only Doom can save you. End transmission. As we see the U.S. change the flag from the American flag to the Doom's Latverian flag. 30 minutes later, heroes gather at the Baxter Building. Well, people, as we get this real nice 2-page spread of all the heroes arrayed, and I actually really like Tony's kind of armor in here. I'm open to suggestions. It's like, yeah, we got a big Doom problem. How are we going to do this? And then we get this with nice kind of like bouncing back and forth, though Strange looks a little bit strange to me. It's like, okie dokie. There's no way this is real. That new flag flying above the White House sure says otherwise, Iron Man. And I'm guessing it felt pretty real to the generals who attempted coups. For crying out loud, there are those in Wakanda who have welcomed Doom. I would have never thought it possible. So with all those heads of state just going along with this, what are we thinking? Mind control replaced by Doombots? Some secret and especially Dr. Doomy third option? I'm like, yes, you hit Spidey very well there. There must be a reason. Doom attempted this now, after having stolen this mantle of Sorcerer Supreme from me. It must be magic, and of course Blood Hunt issue 5. Then why not affect us too? Squirrel Girl. Interesting. Squirrel Girl's right. I feel the same mixture of fear, disappointment, and being low-key impressed with Doom that I always have. Well, that's the good news. We're still ourselves. I don't detect any magical influence here. Terrific. But neither do I detect it around the world's capitals. Why do we dally? We have defeated Doom before, so let us do it again. Let us take him down and free the world. Victor always has wheels within wheels, Thor, and traps within traps. We need to be careful. Speaking of, I'm getting a message from Black Widow. She's been in Europe surveilling Hydra, and she went dark days ago. Widow here, there's been major movement since Doom's broadcast. I'm patching you into my surveillance feeds now, but it looks like in a moment that won't be necessary. And the thing is, keep in mind that whole Doombot kind of thing. People of Earth, I, Baron Zemo, am reaching you using the same broadcast override Doom did, but unlike him, I will make this brief. Many of you don't like me, but don't worry, we in Hydra have long known we don't need your love to earn your respect. And if you know anything, know this. Neither Baron Zemo nor Hydra itself will ever be ruled over by anyone, much less a rootless, degenerate mongrel. Fuck you, Baron Zemo, you goddamn cockhead. The very idea is laughable. Doom playing at being Emperor, a man whose ancestors never even earned themselves a homeland. I'm definitely getting vibes of someone thunder fucking a light socket here. My forces and I are on the edge of Latveria. The barrier surrounding it is permeable to us thanks to our superior Hydra technology. Right. We now march on Doomstad. We march on Doom, and we will end this ridiculous charade once and for all. Hydra, move out. I'm following them in. I'm picking up interference as I approach the barrier, so don't be surprised that signal can't... It's like, okay, we're losing that on Widow. Let's crack on. So, how's that expression go again? The enemy of my enemy is my friend? No, not ever. Damn straight, Steve. Damn straight, Cap. Never with him and never with Hydra. I know, Cap. I know. Just a joke. It's like, no. Fuck Nazis. Fucking Nazi. Look, Baron Zemo just marched on Latveria without resistance. We might be able to do the same. I am not afraid of a little resistance, nor is Thor. And it's like, yeah. And I really kind of like the paneling here as we got the zoom in with Tony and Stephen Strange there, and then, of course, going to Cat. I tell you one thing, I ain't planning on waiting here to see who takes over our TVs next. Yeah, it seems to be a fucking thing. Given how rapidly things are escalating, our response does seem warranted. Yes, Reed. Then it's agreed. We travel to Latveria, we meet up with Widow, deal with Zemo, deal with Doom, and then we'll figure out how to clean up this mess everywhere else. Unfortunately, we can't get there magically. He's got shields all over. Well then, that being the case, I have just one question. Alright, Sue. Does anyone need a ride? As we see an invisible fucking pretty much like plane. It's like, holy shit. And then we get a nice little thing of Spidey and Johnny. Now, Johnny's mustache looks really fucking weird here. Mainly because it kind of fuses into the background color-wise. Like kind of there and throughout just mainly this page. It's kind of like, okay, but that's pretty much down to him, them being an invisible plane and doing it kind of like in the evening. You know, Johnny, you think you're not afraid of heights, but then you get on an invisible force field airplane, and I gotta say, you maybe reconsider that a bit. Come on, Spidey, you love it. Do I? What if Sue loses focus? Then I'll flame on and catch you. And if not, you can always improvise one of your famous webbing parachutes. I'm sure a parachute made mostly out of holes works great. I'm just saying, turning an existing passenger plane invisible would have been easier than forming one out of force fields. With what money, man? We're broke. Tony Stark's! Oh, yeah, he probably has some planes kicking around. Something to keep in mind for next time, huh? It's like, I love that. Tony Stark's money? Now, he is kind of fucked up, but I mean, he still has the money that Emma Frost gave him. This is Sue. Heads up, everyone. We're getting close to Latveria. I'm making us all fully invisible now. We're turning invisible, but I can still smell you, Johnny. One of us can flame on when he lands, thereby burning off all his sweat armpit bacteria. I have no idea why we're friends. It's because I'm so inspirational. It's like, nuts. Alright, so we get everybody pretty much battle ready, standing before what's going on. Okay, people, get ready. Latveria has been closed for months, and we don't know what we're going to face in there. Whatever it is, Tony, I'm pretty sure we can clobber it. Now, everyone follow me, and let's... as he smacks into a barrier. And then it's like, what in the name of Aunt Petunia? And now you see the problem I had following them in. Hey, everyone, sorry for not warning you sooner, but hitting that barrier messed up my comms something fierce. We're lucky. The last time we hit a force field around Latveria, it sent us back in time. It was visible then, though. Of course, that is. locked in with Fantastic Four. That one was an interesting one. It feels like an energy jump surrounding the country, but it's nothing I can interact with. If this shield can prevent me from phasing through, it must be stronger than what Baron Zemo encountered. Wanda? Pardon me. This is Sorcerer Supreme Magic Viz. Given a few weeks, I might be able to come up with a spell that would weaken it, but another broadcast coming in, and this one's not from here. It's gotta be Zemo. Let's see it. And of course, we see that Zemo is like all friends and buddy-buddy with Doom now. Hello again, Earth. Baron Zemo here to announce that I was in fact mistaken. Yeah. Baron Zemo would die before saying that, and Doom would kill him just for sheer aggravation. Doom is doing what's best for the world, and Hydra's going to join him. There is a better way, and Doom has found it. Now, Doom, of course, we see the kind of game here. Doom demands schools and hospitals, thus Hydra will build them, under whatever supervision the local authorities deem appropriate to ensure they are built quickly and effectively. I gotta say, Doom's kind of stupid on this front. I mean, to most of the world, Hydra is a terrorist organization, rightly so. Trying to utilize them for good, I understand, but most people would be like, I don't want to fucking work with these Nazi bastards. Let's see. Other branches will work on clearing landmines from contaminated areas around the world. Hydra, these are our top and only priorities. It's a fake. It's gotta be. Begin without delay. Full resources authorized. Hydra only verification code 2542 Sol. Zemo out. Or not. And I like seeing Tony's kind of like giant sword on his back there. Again, cool different layout. Of course, showing off Zemo and Doom. Doom's really got some good stuff here. And Zemo is under the same magical mind control that's been affecting world leaders. So it seems. I've traced the source of that transmission. I was expecting it to originate at ground level, but it's actually from a flying platform, remarkably large, a few hundred kilometers away. That's not a base, that's a city. A Hydra flying island. I crashed one once in the ocean a while back. It's like, yep, two caps talking cap. I suggest you split up. Some stay here and try to find a way in, while others go to the base to track down Doom and Zemo. Bah! No magical field can stand long before the immortal god of thunder. Thor pretty much going a little bit more ham. Kind of the usual kind of Thor that you would kind of think when he's not dealing with the kind of heavier stuff that we've seen in Immortal Thor. So I can understand a little bit of the discrepancy there. I could try and nullify it with equal and opposite wavelengths, assuming it even has wavelengths. Great idea, Sue. Plus, the thing's got to have a bottom, right? We can try burrowing. Love it. If you're not breaking into Latveria, then you're taking Hydra down. Everyone pick a team, and let's move. I like that. And I do like that Carol is pretty much quarterbacking this, since she is leading the Avengers. So, one of the interesting things of this issue is that North is able to keep that pretty much intact from what we've seen from the Avengers issues. So, cool. Shortly, detecting members of the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and other heroes arriving on our island, sir. How utterly predictable. Kill them for me. Yes, sir. Hail Hydra. Hail Hydra and get it done. Be alert, everyone. We should expect that our arrival was noticed. And the cool thing is, I'm really liking North's handle on Tony. So, when North's done doing, like, this, Fantastic Four, whatnot, it would be interesting to see him handling Tony, or any kind of other hero that I've seen in here. His Thor would be a very interesting one. And there it is. Storm, can we whip up a little lightning to ruin their day? Why, Tony, I believe we can. As I really kind of like here that we see that we've still got color coding here, because the Hydra are in their kind of green suits, and their guns are shooting the kind of green braka. You know, I've always wondered how a guy ends up joining Hydra. Do you just flip through a recruitment brochure thinking, you know what? It'd be nice if everyone could tell at a glance how stupid I am. Or is there more to it than that? It's like, really snarky-ass Tony. And it's like, ooh, interesting to have this kind of back. Keep pushing. Take them down as quickly as you can. The central tower. That's got to be where Zemo's at. We have our target, people. Move. Flame on! As we also see Spidey whipping in the background. Message received, Captain Marvel. And message understood. Oh, God. Gotta watch out for that. I only read this once. Be very careful. Page. Oh, my God. The tower's sealed, everyone. No windows and a single door at the bottom. Of course it is. How much do you want to bet that door is armored, reinforced, and magically sealed? You don't become a billionaire by making bets you're gonna lose, Carol, but I'll do you one better. How much do you want to bet it's not going to make a difference? And this is a really kind of interesting page. We've got the usual kind of paneling, but I like seeing Tony blast through with his like armor doing some crazy ass shit, which we really haven't seen in his main series, but I mean, at least makes it kind of really fucking cool for this. And we see the color and stuff on the edges as it's like fully focusing on this, but we've got the panels leading up to it. That's a different kind of thing. Hey Zemo, quick tip for you. It's something Black Widow once told me. Black Widow here told me once. You can secure a door as much as you want, but it's only ever as secure as the wall it's attached to. Oh, Tony, you were listening. It's like, as we see our heroes blasting in. You dare to place hands upon Baron Helmut Zemo? Hydra will not permit this. Doom will not permit this. Helmut, since when does Hydra submit to Doom? As we see Steve pretty much kicking his ass and showing what's kind of going on. What do you know of power? What do you know of ambition? Do you know of October 1st, 1945? That is what I thought, as Steve pretty much punches the Doomspot heads off, which is like, oh shit, as it's just there. The date Hydra was founded by Baron Strucker. I've never forgotten it. Zemo wouldn't either. A Doombot, of course. But I believe this may actually be of use to us. Doombots carry recordings of their actions, and I've never let Victor know I can sometimes recover them. We may yet be able to learn truly what he's done here. Yes, projecting now. As we pretty much see that Doom killed Zemo. It's like, yep. Our own course. Holy shit, Doom didn't mess around. He took the easiest path available. Killed Zemo and replaced him with an obedient Doombot. But surely he couldn't have killed and replaced every other world leader, could he? Of course, that then leads them to being like, shit. And I really love Tony's armor here. And it's like, yes. And of course, fuck all. Look at that, man. Damn. That's our next problem. For now, Doom's lying to the world, acting like he's changed, but into this great leader, trying to buy love with bread and circuses. But he hasn't changed a bit. We just found the smoking gun. A dead Nazi? Hardly a great loss, Tony. It's proof that this whole thing is a fraud founded on death. Reed, can you duplicate that broadcast override? A lie can travel around the world while the truth is still pulling on its repulsor boots, and I'd like to give old truth a fighting chance. I believe I can. Tony, you're on in 3, 2, 1. Hey Earth, Iron Man here. You're probably wondering what the heck's been going on with Hydra and Doom, huh? Or you're just waking up, and Bud, you have missed a ton. Wild morning. Go ask some Victorian child what day it is, while I catch the rest of us up. It's like, okay, that was random, but I'm like, Tony going on. We're going to broadcast footage just as soon as I'm done talking. Proof that Doom hasn't changed. He didn't open Baron Zemo's eyes to some glorious humanitarian purpose. He crushed them out of the back of his head when he killed him, and replaced him with a Doombot, a mechanical puppet. Just as Doom will kill anyone else who gets in his way. He's lying to you. Of course he is. He's Dr. Doom. But we're going to stop him. Don't believe him, and don't believe his lies. We're taking care of it. Iron Man out. You hear that? Sounds like shouting. Looks like Hydra got the message. Heh. Guess they're not happy to find out this wasn't Galaxy Brain 150-dimensional chess on the part of their great leader. Whoops! Turns out you've been following fake orders from a fake commander. Couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of guys, huh? As Hydra's going like, it's like, okay. Yeah, somewhere in elsewhere in Europe. Our leader is murdered. The Baron is dead. So now your lives are forfeit too. It's like, what, you dumb fucker? Please, we have nothing to do with this, my baby. Oh, but you have so much to do with this. These people are your heroes, so you will pay the price. Please. As we see a bang, what? That was a mistake, as we see that somebody is taking out the Hydra. And who is it? Why, it's Doom riding T-Rex Doom. It's like, it's funny. It's all kind of like serious enough as it's going on. And then we get the utter insanity of Doom teamed up with T-Rex Doom. It's like, yep. As we see Doom with a gun. It is not one you will make again. Roar! It's like, holy fucking shit. My loyal subjects, a confession. I did lie to you. But I do not apologize for it. Of course not. Sorry, Victor Von Doom has a Tyrannosaurus Rex version of himself as a steed. Took the words right out of my mouth, Doreen. Yeah, it's a long story. One that I guess ended differently than we thought. One told in Fantastic Four issue 13. Yeah, they didn't know that the T-Rex Doom kind of survived that. Yes, I killed Zemo months ago. I killed the Red Skull too. Evidently that happened in Thunderbolts 2023 issue 4, which I didn't know. These men were proud, unrepentant Nazis and the leaders of a virulent gang of racists. It's like, yeah, you took out some Nazis. Yes, you have a point there, Doom. And you are fighting more kind of Nazis. They were, in short, a problem, one that Earth's mightiest heroes have been trying and failing to solve since World War II. But Doom did it for you in a day, as we see his T-Rex pretty much, well, not his T-Rex, T-Rex Doom ripping and raring and fucking energy baking the fucking rest of, like, Hydra's. Like, you don't use the same tactics. You fight Nazis, always. Fuck them. It's just, like, Doom really is able to kind of, like, turn it. It's like, but if you would lie about this, which you really wouldn't have had any kind of thing to lie about before, a slight deception, a simple lie of omission, and I had Hydra clearing landmines. It's like, fuck it. You could have, like, told them and done some other kind of thing. I had them building schools, hospitals. Unfortunately, the Avengers and their ilk couldn't stand it. It's like, oh, fuck you, asshole. The green is kind of fucking crazy. I really love the use of that as he's like just blasting out their fucking asses. So rather than risk their decades of ineptitude, their fundamental torpidity being revealed, they tore down my work. If they couldn't save you, then they would ensure no one else could. You aren't saving people, dick shit. My god, he saw us coming. Yeah? He knew Zemo would be unable to resist attacking him, so he prepared for that. He let them in, just as Victor knew we'd be unable to resist revealing the truth, and so he prepared for us. And we just played precisely into his hands. Yes, Reed, as he's looking and seeing what's going on. In this way, those so-called heroes were correct. This was the only chance to bend Hydra to useful ends, and is now truly dead by their hands. But I will clean up their mess. You are safe, you are cared for. Doom is wisdom, Doom is power, Doom is prosperity. And it's kind of crazy seeing it go as he's like just taking all wholesale ass. And only Doom can save us, by the woman with her baby reaching towards Doom's hand. Continued next month. And of course showing like the page. Let's see, showing off a checklist for everything kind of going on. Of course we got Thunderbolts, Doomstrike, Doom Academy, X-Factor, Weapon X, Storm, Fantastic Four, Doom Division and all that. This is it for One World Under Doom issue 2. Dr. Doom has taken over the world, and Earth's mightiest heroes have failed twice. First to stop him, and now to overthrow him. But the Fantastic Four know Doom better than anyone, which makes him ideally suited to taking on Earth's new Emperor, except for the fact that he knows them just as well. As Reed Richards, Sue Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm prepare to face down Doom at the United Nations, Doom pays a secret visit to speak with the only person on Earth who holds his favor, his respect, and his love. Can Valeria Richards change her godfather's mind? And if she fails, what will stop Doom from visiting a shocking fate on the Fantastic Four that not even he can undo? Ooh. So, I do like that we are getting an event that really kind of dives into Doom being the Sorcerer Supreme and taking over the world. This doesn't seem to be like a one-off. I mean, in these kind of comics and mythologies, you could be like a one-off kind of thing, or like your typical kind of event, but this is a little bit different. How Doom's kind of taking over, how he's twisting certain kind of things. That's kind of how Doom is. Our heroes are on the back foot, so we kind of have to see how that kind of works out and how they kind of progress as One World Under Doom continues forward. We'll definitely see this, of course, in Fantastic Four. I liked the handle specifically of characters of Spidey and Johnny, Cap, Captain America Steve Rogers. Not as much that we had for Cap Sam Wilson, but I like the handling of Carol. Of course, I liked how he's handled the Fantastic Four. Thor seems a little bit more gung-ho and battle-ready here, which hasn't been what he's been kind of doing in the Immortal Thor. But, I mean, this calls for it because Doom's taken over Midgard and he doesn't fucking like that shit. I was not expecting Tyrannosaurus Doom to pop up again, but it was effective as he was taking out the Hydra ass motherfuckers. And I do have to hand it to Doom to be like, yeah, I murdered some people. They were Nazis. And I was trying to use this deception to make this work more in my favor. But if you're such a great person, Doom, you wouldn't need to do that. You just would have taken out Zemo and Hydra and the Red Skull. You wouldn't need to lure the Avengers into this trap unless you were specifically doing it to trap the Avengers and utilize Hydra and killing these Nazis to curry favor points with the general public. Which, if you are such a great and magnanimous and humble Doom, you wouldn't need to fucking do. though riding around taking out assholes with a T-Rex version of yourself is very badass and does great for propaganda points for yourself, you could have had more of a path of least resistance. So our heroes are kind of like, oh shit. Tony being the kind of center point of talking and everything was very interesting. I really liked North's handle on him. Not that I've been hating how he's been handled in the Iron Man series. He's just more kind of in an angered kind of phase of what the creative team is trying to do. Whereas this is more of a kind of Tony, even though he's on a back foot, is going more on his kind of like sarcastic, quippy kind of route. And the thing that you got to do is watch out to make sure that him and Spidey don't sound very similar. And in here, they don't. It was also interesting to see the Squirrel Girl got as much time as she did. Even though it wasn't like a lot, but I was like, okay. So I like this. I like the art style, barring certain kind of circumstances. Like Stephen Strange looked a little bit strange to me. Yes. But the action and overall was really well done and handled. And I gotta hand this. I love how the Iron Man armor is done. So, Silva. Yes, please. This is what I'm looking for whenever I see Iron Man in action, so thank you. And then, of course, the action of, like, the T-Rex and doing its shit, Doom, using magic and everything. You kind of really need that, especially since this is more of a magical-focused one. So, I think that the rest of the issues would be set at, like, $4.99, depending upon what's going on. This was kind of a beefy and kind of long one, so I'm like, okay, this is working out pretty well. We'll see how this kind of goes. I'm intrigued intrigued to see kind of what happens with this. If from seeing this you didn't really care for it, definitely dodge it. Yeah, I think you would be perfectly fine sticking with your main ones and getting most of what you need from your main kind of series, depending upon what's going on with your series, how it's tied together. Now, this would kind of help since I'm reading Fantastic Four, and what's kind of going on with that. I'll kind of see. I have liked Norse stuff on Fantastic Four, so if you're into that, you might want to check this out, but if you don't want to, I don't think you're going to lose too much from it. We'll have to see. I mean, there's going to be some major changes in this that will affect what goes on in Fantastic Four. But if it gets to that kind of point, I will definitely acknowledge that, because always with this kind of thing, I always want an event to always be a value add. Whereas if I don't want to engage in it, I don't lose anything really that much of value. But if I choose to engage with it, I have the added value. It's additional to what I have gotten out of it. Say I'm reading Fantastic Four and I don't really want to spend more on this event comic to figure out what's going on with Doom and the Fantastic Four as well. I'm still reading Fantastic Four, written of course by North still. And you're still up to date. You still understand what's going on, and you're not completely lost in the woods. Where, like, from if you did this issue and then the next one, you have no idea what the fuck's going on in Fantastic Four. So, yeah, I enjoyed this. I got my money's worth, and if you didn't, I totally get that and acknowledge that, and because that's getting beefy. $5.99. I don't mind paying for quality. But if you don't see the quality here in the writing or the art style, I completely get that and get having that and being like, I don't want to engage with this. It's very much up to you for what kind of goes on, because sometimes I read some stuff and I'm like, the story's either not working for me, the art style's either not working for me, something's kind of going a little bit weird. Always have to keep that in mind. Also, since this is kind of like a different kind of one, I also got this kind of freebie one that is showing a sneak peek of Image Comics' You'll Do Bad Things. And we're taking everything down with us. And I actually really enjoyed these and think that they were nice little kind of introductions to these kind of stories. So I would recommend checking them out. Let's see. Matthew Rosenberg is We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. Let's see. You'll Do Bad Things. I see by Tyler Boss, I believe. So we pretty much see this one, which the art style is kind of actually pretty kind of cool. This girl getting off this date, saying have a nice night, but of course she wants to like get it on and get to the next kind of level. But we see that Sony's kind of watching her, and you're thinking, oh god, what's going to happen to her? But we see that it's actually the dude that gets killed out first, and it's like kind of crazy and nutty. It's like, what the fuck? And then they kind of get Matthew Rosenberg asking about like how he's kind of doing this kind of thing, and how it's about like serial killers and stuff like that, and what kind of goes on with that. So it's like, oh, all right. And then of course we see that Tyler Boss then asks Matt about what's going on in this, where we see that this is kind of like a kind of spy story, that this girl is like playing a kind of hide and seek with these robots that are kind of gnarly, and she wants to like talk to her dad, but of course he's all kind of linked up into his kind of research, and she is not having it. She's kind of pissed off and cursing and shit. They ask her if she wants to play again, and they're kind of all these different kind of robots. They're the same, but they've got different kind of colors, different kind of mannerisms. And of course she's going to try and find her father. These were kind of interesting ones to kind of just like pick up and kind of see what's kind of going on with it. Art style is definitely very interesting for both ones of them, and how their kind of paneling layout works out. I really like how this sold the scene of like the voyeur of like looking through these blinds and everything, and this with just like how creepy the robot looks. So I know that's a little extra added thing in there, not really much enough to do its own kind of review. I just wanted to add a little bit onto that because it was there, and I liked both of them and think they were very interesting sneak peeks into these Image comics that are going to be coming out. So if those kind of sound interesting to you, check them out and see what goes on. So those are my opinions on the issue and the sneak peeks. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked them, if you didn't like them, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.